All right, well, I guess we are live. Top chat box seems to have connected once more. So that's gotta apparently keep that open. We're gonna just do a quick test chat, see if I can see that in my own chat window. Live streaming. It's not seeing me as far as I can tell, which is really weird. Um, oh, well, it says live now down there, but when I click here, I just get a spinning box. That's really inconvenient. Wow. Um, it says they happen. Oh, hey, there we go. I can see the myself. I can see the chat. It looks like. All right, we're gonna do a quick test chat. Just make sure everything is working. I don't know what my delay is. It looks like the delay might be almost a minute and a half, which is kind of crazy. Hey, I got the test chat. That showed up about 20 seconds after I punched it in, so we're good to roll there. Let's draw a YouTube banner, shall we? All right, so we're getting going here. As you can see, you saw the title. Need myself a YouTube banner. Don't have one, just an empty black screen. I did a little bit of thumbnailing, took a look at what some of the others were. I thought about doing a fun pose, thought about doing something like that, and ultimately what I settled on is the best banner is going to be this one right here. Just clean, simple, easy. So we're going to blow that up real quick and use that as a basis for the sketch. Something in that size range, you know. Got to get nice and big and drop that down. Lock it down. That's invisible, so it doesn't matter. Just gonna grab these layers, bring them to the top real quick. And let's get to work, shall we? So, yeah, the big thing is this is the Geary channel, the Akaoni Geary channel, in fact. We got to find a fun font for that. So let's play with that a little bit, shall we? Maybe me doing like a sharp diagonal box. This might be fun. We could keep that same angle going, you know? Ooh, actually, let's try that. We're gonna put that down. Oh my god, I can't draw. Here, no. No, we'll do this with the brush. We'll do it with the brush. Don't worry about it. We'll just have to clean it up a lot later. Anyway, I like playing with it a sec. I like that. And then a lot. That, come on, yeah, we'll repeat that as close as we can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect, it really doesn't. As for the little tildes, not tildes, what the hell, the apostrophe-like things, I don't know what they're actually called in Japanese, but we're going to put them, it's the same style for them. This fun slanted diagonal. In just one moment. There we go. Get them paired like that. We can just cut out that little bit between. Perfect. Now then, I mean, I am an Oni after all, so Kanabo. We're gonna make this vertical chunk here Kanabo, just because it goes with that Oni style. Now grab a little thing around that. Edit, transform. I think perspective ought to do on this one. Yeah. Give a little bit of that. Edit. Free transform, I think is fine here. We just drag it on up so it's nice and tall. And deselect it. If you want to know how I was deselecting so quickly, I have a few hotkeys here on the side of my computer that I just have some of my most commonly used functions mapped to. So, for those of you who do not know, kanabos are these big hexagonal clubs, so we're going to make sure we get that hexagonal funness going. Great for crushing skulls. Like, one of the best choices. They feel so good to use. I mean, you know, it's what Oni do, right? You don't want to, you know, do something weird. You don't want to be weird if you're an Oni. You gotta go with the flow, man. Get big, get strong. Use a giant steel club. Break some skulls. Mostly monster skulls. Let's try and stick to monster skulls for now. It's apparently it's considered rude among humans to get in fights and hit them. Would rather not do that. Let's clean up the edges just a little bit. They're feeling a little thick. Ooh. There. That's looking pretty good. Gonna take a moment, clean that. Again, we're gonna grab that perspective just so we can emphasize the angle. Perspective. Let's pull that. And I just too much. Just a touch too much. No. There we go. Perfect. Clean, sharpen. There we go. Nice shape. All right. So, as I'm sure at least some of you know, kanabos traditionally have a large ring to hold them by at the bottom. Well, large ring here down at the bottom. We're gonna quickly draw that in. Make that everything. Come in again. Draw in the inner edge. Make that super clean and thin. Perfect. That looks like a, well, kind of like my old Canavo. Which one was it? It was you and you? Yes. Sorry, I just noticed the sideline here is very slightly not as tilted as I would have liked. Come on. There we go. Give me a moment. Oh my god. Yeah, that looks good. That looks a bit more even. We can shrink that back down. And now we're going to put in a handle. So we got the ring, which kind of, it helps keeps your hands from slipping off the end. But the actual handle of the Canavo, and we'll put our little hexagonal plates here. The actual handle of the Canavo is just can use a lot of them go with the kind of traditional dirty samurai or dirty just a dirty cloth wrap. You know why? Because it's simple, it's effective. No real need to do bigger and fancier. So that's what we're going with today. Sometimes it'll get a little sweat stained, a little blood stained. Gotta replace them once in a while. Wrap those around the ring, where it helps anchor it. Put a little knot here, and we can put a quick tail to the wrap. Just there you go. And that will be half of our done. Just don't forget English. Yeah, I really liked a lot of Callie's, like that first track. It's really catchy. Just her first album stuck in my head constantly. So yeah, right now this is a private stream for the record, so you're not going to see any live chat or anything, because there wasn't a live chat except for me testing my own chat. But at some point down the line, I might choose to make it a public stream, which is why I'm acting as though it is a public stream. This was done largely, just got to fix the perspective there a little bit, largely to just kind of make sure everything works. And once I'm done doing the drawing, I'm going to go back, rewatch the video, and make sure that, everything recorded sounds good, stuff like that. If my incessant rambling gets on your nerves while watching, I suggest you just kind of mute it, pop some music on. No worries. If that's your jam, jam. Jam to your jam, man. So we've got to do the second half 3. We're going to go back to being kind of similar to the Geet. I'll do it like that. And that clip's a little big. Bring it just down just a tiny bit and move it closer So it feels more like part of the same character. Giddy. This is the Giddy channel. Nice, nice clean C. I mean, it's not perfect, but it'll definitely do. I'm no typographer. Yeah, let's get some of those nice diagonal cuts on the H here, so it feels dynamic. We like dynamic. Not sure how to do the C with these diagonal cuts, but think about it for a bit, maybe come back to it a little bit later. Honestly, these high dynamic things are kind of reminding me of those little like callouts you see, those little like sound callouts, the little onomatopoeias you see in anime. Love that shit. We do it in American comic books, but we don't do it in anything else. Like you'll see it in anime and you'll see it in manga and all over the place, even in like just drawn pictures. And old comic books in America, we do like the bamf, flap stuff for punches and stuff. But you don't really see other sound effects drawn in, and it's disappointing. Let's just put it that way. I wish more creators drew sound effects in when making comic books because it added a lot of character. And I think that's part of what the comic book industry is missing these days is the character of old. It's been on the rocks, it's been suffering for a long time, and I think that's part of it. They tried to lose some of that childlike wonder and lost their soul in the process. Giddy channel. So we're probably gonna have to do this as like 3 lines. The big beardy channel, aka onigiri in English and aka onigiri in Japanese. That way we can appeal to both American, well, both English speaking and Japanese speaking viewers. I think it'll improve the overall feel. So I'm gonna pop it onto a new layer here. I'm gonna rename the old one. One quick sec. Do, 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 do. Kinda. Da, da, da. Oh, oh, oh. Damn. Photoshop does not accept katakana. Well, that's unfortunate. Giddy channel. Then this next layer here is going to be oko oni giddy in English. And we're just going to, at the same time, while we're thinking about it, giddy Japanese. We're going to quickly lock the Japanese so we don't accidentally mess it up. Lock that because we're working on this. And for the record, I do pretty much always lock my layers. I didn't used to, but I started doing it because it was one of those, I would make little mistakes. You know, you're drawing, you're drawing, you're drawing, you spend 2 hours drawing, and suddenly you realize that you've been drawing on the wrong layer for the last 2 hours, and the stuff that you thought you were doing that was temporary is now irreversible. Hey, I had several pictures ruined doing that, so always lock my layers as soon as I am not working on them. it has saved me many times because I've gone, wow, why am I not drawing things? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Anyways, got that sorted out. Let's keep going. So the A here is a little bit weird because A's by default have this horizontal or the diagonal slashes where we could do the A like that, or do the A like that. Kind of lean in. I actually kind of like that if we can mirror it. If we can mirror it, which would be mirroring it with an L over here. Yeah, so let's go with this A. We can mirror it with the L, make them both lean in. I think it'll look pretty cool. Let's do that. I do actually before I start, I'm gonna just draw a quick line across. We're going to go. I believe it's just want to get the spacing right. Ka. O. Ni. Oni. We want to. This is English, so we're getting our spaces in there. Gi. Ri. Cha. We got two ends in channel, two ends in channel. Chan. L. Alright, so that's our spacing. Is that looks about right? Looks about right. Let's just zoom out a little bit, make sure that it's looking decent. We can come in here, click that. This isn't actually what we're drawing for this layer, so let me just grab the box, new layer via cut, drop that down, drop the opacity so it's like a bit lower. Let's just see it, lock it, get back to what we're doing. So this tells me where I need each letter to kind of have them vaguely the same size across. And let's get to work. First one, A. Nice. Yeah. Nice straight there. We got the inside of the A, which we'll put there. And there. There? Sure. Comes across, fits pretty closely. We'll just scratch that. Ooh! Oh, no, 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 no. Alright. There we go. So we got that in. Now we could leave the middle open instead of putting the bar across. It's a little stylized. I don't know if I want to do that. For now, I'm going to put the bar in. We'll think about it later, maybe. If we're feeling like we need some more stylization later, we'll bump it up. And that's not bad there, where it's designed to kind of go behind on the one side. I think we're going to leave it like that and move on to the K. Ooh. So let's see. K here has its diagonals. There we go. That creates our cute little K. Not perfect. but good enough. Okay, the lowercase a, this is a bit of a challenge here, so we're going to have to come up with some kind of strategy. I'm thinking we're going to do the side, just a flat vertical, keep that style. It'll be a nice short vertical bar there. We keep the style for that. And now we can, I could do like oh, actually a hexagonal diamond is probably a pretty good way to go. It reflects the hexagonal at the top of the club. So let's do that. So we're doing the hexagonal. We're treating the slightly longer wall there as, ooh. Don't know why the pen does that. I really wish I had someone I could talk to about that problem and figure the heck out. The honk out. Oop. Put that there. Put that there. Perfect. I mean, not perfect, but more than acceptable. Actually, no, not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. The whole thing's garbage. I'm going to clean that edge up because it did get erased some. We need to start from the angles that matter. One of the things we need to make sure of is that we're not dropping too low on the font. So let's focus on that first. Get that. And slide over. Alright, that's a pretty nice hexagon. It's by no means perfect, but it fills the space that we're trying to fill, and it doesn't really extend beyond it. And it definitely would suggest the shape of an A. So we're going to get the inside real quick. Just a few quick strokes. Alright. Aka. 1E. So we could do the O like we just did the A, and it would probably work, but we just did the A that way, so I'm not sure it's necessarily a good idea to do it that way. So in this case, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use an old technique of not doing it that way. Just blah. Ooh, got to crank that hardness up a little bit. Perfect. Now we come in, we erase the inside real quick. Just one smooth, clean stroke. Slide that down a bit. Pop that. Erase. Ooh, messed that one up. And erase the inside. Perfect. Got a nice clean out. And now we bring it back down. Back down to our writing size. Ooh, I said writing size. Put that in. Get us a little uptick. Gonna just drop that the whole length so it's got its character. And actually for the A here, let's also add our diagonals to it. It's like that. Like that. Okay, so that gets that. We're going to put our upward diagonal for the top of the end. Outside of the end. underside here, inside, outside. The inside of the outside. Most people just call that the inside. Okay, there we go. We got ourselves our N. Get our I real quick. Honestly, I'm not worrying about the spacing between the letters too terribly. I think for purposes of this particular banner and this particular phase of the drawing, worrying about the spacing would be a mistake, as I don't think it's actually gonna matter that much. You know what I mean? What matters is that it looks cool, not that the spacing is absolutely dead on perfect. There. So, we got that. For the lower lettering, honestly, this A came out really thick. So we're going to clean that up just a touch before we move on. There we go. Aka oni. Gi di. So we can do the G either like we did the C or like we did the lowercase a. In this case, I think I'm going to do it like I did the C. Mostly. Okay. But, it is still a G, so let's use the fact that it's a G to get some cool going on. Remember, everything is the rule of the cool. Always rule the cool. Get that. Okay, that came out really weird and lumpy. We're just going to start that G over. I kind of like the way the C came out, so yeah, let me just jump over here, layer the copy, lock that. Just gonna cheat a little tiny bit, except it's not cheating because this is just a time saver. We're actually gonna be using that technique even more in the future anyways with the eyes we're about to do. So, we got the base, and now we turn it into a G real quick. Now we turn it into a goat, the greatest of all time. We've been called that a few times in Final Fantasy just for soloing bosses from like half health and shit. It feels real good when it happens, man, Alright, so we got our G, but we want the eyes to look consistent, so we're going to just copy that eye, slide it on over, make a second copy of the copy, slide it on over, and now we have those. Merge that down, merge that down. R. I believe this is the first R we've done. So we're going to do it similar to how we've done the others. The vertical. So, and something I'd like to talk about real quick while we're doing this, because I think it's a mistake a lot of people make, is when they're doing hand-drawn fonts like that, they're not consistent with the font. For each letter, they will do something a little bit different, and by the end, the font looks highly inconsistent. Let's try it. I don't know if this will work, but it might. It looks okay, but I think the better answer will be to try and match the angle, the up angle there, and that. Yeah, that's definitely a better answer for that particular letter. So the R came out a little small. We're just gonna bump it up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Giddy. Giddy giddy. Rockawani. Giddy. Let's see. Channel. Again, we actually have several of these letters done already at this point. So we're just going to be copying those and doing that real quick. So just give me a moment if you would. Unlock that. Unlock that layer. Bring our fresh copy down. I'll line that C up. We're going to keep it exactly the same height-wise, like that. Slide it over. That feels the same. Now the H is clearly out of proportion because that H was lowercase to the C when it was way up top, when the C was lowercase. We're just going to bring that on down. And boom. Clean H. Only problem is we have gone a little bit longer than we would have liked. We'll have to worry about that in a bit. I'm going to have to respace some stuff. The A will later be a copy. T. Actually, the old A was kind of dim, so we're actually just going to immediately merge the copy down and then copy it one more time. Slide that over. I said slide that over. Perfect. We're on N's now, so merge that down. Grab an N. New layer be a copy. Slide it over. Merge down. Just like cancel that. There we go. Just gonna dupe that layer and slide that over. There we go. Okay. So that gives us our N's. We got an E. I think this is our first E. So we're gonna have to draw out that one too. Let's see. Okay. What the? One moment. Someone's pinging me. Oh, no one important. Moving on. E. How do we want to do the E? We could do it like we did the C's or possibly the A. I still don't want to do more than the A that way because I feel like it gives the A a lot of character and it really keeps it standing out distinct from the O, which is important in this particular case. So I think we're going to do the E like we've done some of the others, and it's going to be a circle. That's going to be based on this. It's going to be based on the C and slightly modified. Hush. It is way less work to just copy it, and it keeps the font more consistent. There. Perfect. Put that in. Switch back to draw mode. I'm gonna put that line there. There we go. Close that. And we are gonna come back in and like fill these letters in and draw them a little bit more. So don't worry too much about them looking bad right now. This is mostly to get the overall shape done. We're going to grab the H for this one and copy the bulk of the H for our L. Again, keeps that font consistent. It's gonna look better. Consistent fonts are important. All right, so we got that drawn out. I'm gonna lock that real quick. I believe that was the sketch layer. Hide that layer as well. There we go. So that's the header. English. The English needs to get cleaned up a little bit. If you'll note, the A sits way farther out than the other letters. We're gonna bring that in just a bit, like that. Akaoni Giri channel. AGC. Okay. And honestly, even that alone is probably an improvement over what we have now for a channel. But we can do better. We can actually do a lot better. Give me one moment while I pull up another file. So this here is actually my my original characters file. And what we're going to do is image. We're going to just scroll through all of these. Nothing there. Unlock every single layer. Open every single folder. Because what we're going to do is we're going to merge the whole thing down as a copy, drag it in. Actually, yeah, we're gonna merge the whole thing down as a copy, drag it in, and then delete this file. This instance of this file so that it doesn't save. Basically, tell it not to save because I don't want to corrupt my original. I do have a backup as your just in case I corrupt it. This is but generally, when I use this technique, I don't corrupt it, so it's really not that big a deal. Don't worry about it. Lots of time savers. We want things to look cool, and we want to not be 80 years old when we finish things. So, time savers galore. Anyways, all the layers are unlocked, opened, and merge layers. Got one layer. Pop that out just real quick. Grab that, drop it. Close that file. You want to save changes? No, we do not. And this is going to be just going to call it picture. I'm going to drop it there. Zoom out a little bit. Zoom out a little bit more because it's still way too big. Way too big. Alright, now we kind of got it in there, and you can see that my original art doesn't actually have feet. You guys don't need to see my feet. Ever. Trust me. Yeah, let's cut in a little closer to me. Let's cut in a little closer even. So we can bring in like half, bring me into like half the screen. We're gonna drop that down a few layers. Cool. Now, as we fill this in, that will help us get the rest of this set up correctly. We don't need to unlock that, but we do need that and this and this. We're going to bring that up, put that there, and then we are going to put the Japanese line right in this box. And lock both of those if we would. Okay. Now then, I personally am a little rusty on my Japanese, so give me a moment while I look up the exact characters that I used to write my name. Okay. Just take a quick screenshot of these. Bring that in. It's embarrassing, I know. But we need the reference, so we're going to put that there. Okay. That's pretty simple. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strokes on the first character. 1, 2, 3, or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strokes in the second. Not bad. As we did before, we're going to use this quick sketch layer here to kind of align things. We don't need the current alignment at all, so we're just going to delete it. So let's see, what are our strokes? Our strokes are over, slightly bigger over, vertical, that looks like it's, we're going to stylize it. I don't know exactly, there. Actually, that looks pretty good. And the tail. That's a little too big, a little too big. That looks pretty good. The box. Oh my god. Hard to use. Hard to use the straight edger and draw these boxes. There. That'll work. There's that. There's that. There's that. And that gets us that box. Just a little tiddly-doo at the top. What do we got? It's a side slide. Is that centered? No, it's just off center. Is that... That looks pretty darn close. I think that's going to be close enough that it's not going to matter much. So let's get the key. Key. Gi. And Ri. Aka oni kigiri. We actually messed that Ri up a little bit. Let's fix that. Kiri. Aka oni kigiri. So now, just going to adjust the positioning of this a little bit. It's about there. Again, that Ri does not look great. You can see how it's lower than all the others. We want to clean that up because we want to keep them all on the same line, so we're just going to cut that off. Oni kigiri chanara. You know, I actually don't know how other YouTubers have been writing channels, so we're gonna go ahead and just do a little bit of research. Give me one moment, please, and thank you. There we go. Take a peek over here, see what Fubuki's band looks like. Oh, Fubuki doesn't even write out the name fully. Mm-hmm. Understandable. Understandable. So we're actually probably not going to do the channel part. Just going to leave it like that. I'm going to lock that layer so we can see what we're writing. Where did this reference that I... Oh no, it got brought in on that layer. We don't want it on that layer. Layer via cut. And then we can hide it. Okay, so let's get to it. We need to keep the same style we've been using. So horizontals with like a 30-degree offset on these. Let's get going. Just gonna do that. Put a little offset in, somewhere in that 30 to 45-degree range. Put a little offset in. Close it up. Just gonna do the whole line like that. Perfect. Again. Again, let's do the vertical. Offset the one side. Let's see, let's take a peek. Yes, the top is slightly shorter. So we need to make our bottom, I'm going to make its base length as long as the top. And then extend that just a little bit with our cellulite. Just like that. Take another peek. Okay, so when we're drawing in the chunk, that piece got a little connected. We don't want that. Just gotta make sure we don't want that. So disconnect it. We're gonna stylize it to straight because that's kind of the style we've been using. You know, it's supposed to have a little bit of a curve, but you know, I think people will still be able to read it. This one we are also stylizing to straight. Again, because we're stylizing. It's about making it look cool in this case, as opposed to being perfect to how it's drawn, how it's written. Don't like that. Maybe we could give it a slight curve. Too much pressure in there. Slight curve like that. That's not bad. Let's go with that for now. This part almost already matches the style. Gonna just in the downstroke there and close it. So with and I think this is a little far for this particular one, so we're going to just move it over now. A teeny tiny bit. And for this... Oh, don't want any of that. Come on. There we go. None of its neighbors. New layer via copy. Control T. Just gonna flip the width. Just a little negative sign. Super quick to mirror it. And drop it. Does that look even under? It does not. So, let's fix that. Just slide. Oop. Merge that down. And now, let's slide that until it looks even. There we go. Next layer. Okay, so this one's a bit of an odd one because it's already very square and there's just not a lot of room to stylize in that. So we're kind of gonna not. However, I don't think that necessarily means that we can't stylize, because I think what we can do is this. Like that. Get a little bit of that side content, a little of that side slice going on. That bottom one feels way too low. Let's bring that up a bit. Perfect. Just like that. This here is almost like pure, and it's just a little chunk of style. Just a teeny little chunk of the style. Isn't it wonderful? Anyway, moving on. This is another one of those hooked things. This one goes farther out, though. You know, I really wish I knew what parts of kanji were called. Do parts of kanji even have names? I guess in some ways they're called radicals, but that's also... But I think it only refers to, like, full pattern things, like this here, this box is a radical. But I don't know if each part is called a radical or not either. So if someone in chat knows, go ahead and let me know, because I would love to actually know the real answer. You know, getting smarter every day sort of deal. Perfect. And this is an odd little piece. It's kind of a triangle shape. Just gonna simplify it a little bit more than we probably should, because I suspect there's not another character that comes that close to being the same. Oni. And whole thing's diagonal. No, that's that. What was it? What was Control R? Nope. Shift R. No. Ah, yes, Shift R. Perfect. That'll work. Oh, let me go back to brush. So now, yeah. Shift R. Back to brush mode. So now we can go, I want to tip it a little bit less. And back to brush mode. Now we can draw those in very cleanly. While we're here, we'll also draw in a wall there and a wall there, which we will later use to... And there, 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 there. And now let's Shift R again, rotation angle 0, just straighten that out, and back to brush. Here we go. Home stretch for the blockout. Just put our little markings in. Clean off the tips. There, perfect. Let's clean up this. Whatever the little double quotations are called. Close it at the bottom. Clean up that just a tiny bit. On giddy. We are not going to stylize this part. Well, we're going to stylize it like we've been stylizing the rest, but we're not going to use the club for this. Mainly, but we will write it the same way with the vertical. With the slashes and the verticals as they are. So I guess a little bit about myself. I'm just kind of filling this in and cleaning up. Actually, well, no, we're done. But I will go on a little bit about myself. I'm a Red Oni, man. I've been doing this art stuff for a long time. I've been seeing the other YouTubers and VTubers out there, and I thought it was just kind of real fucking cool. And excuse my language, sorry. Just thought it was real cool, and figured, I got the talents to do that. I can go ahead and become one. Us Red Oni always looking to make some friends, so did what we do best. So I tried to do what we do best. Anyways, that's all our outlines done. We're gonna quickly hide that sketch layer. Lock that. We're gonna rename each of these outline real quick. And yes, there is a reason we are keeping each of these on a separate layer, mostly just for down the line editing purposes. It helps a lot if down the line we decide something major has to change. For example, I can grab one of these layers and, hey, what if I want this one to be, I don't know, red, but I want another one to be yellow. I can very quickly and easily adjust them. Now then, color. Letter color. Alright. Main color. We're just going to go full red here for a moment. Doing this under the outline. We'll bring it above and clean it up in a moment. The reason we're going full red is I know I want to be somewhere in the red spectrum, but I don't know where exactly. Okay, honestly, hold on one moment. This gi looks awful compared to the gi we did down here. So we are going to, well, fix that. That goes away. We jump to this layer, box it up, new layer via copy, lock it, and drop it. We can get it sized very closely to what we need. Giddy. Clean that up and merge it down. Much better looking. Okay. So yeah, let's worry about the coloring now that we fixed that little annoyance. Yeah, right. So like I was saying, I'm gonna do it pure red. I know I want it somewhere in the red spectrum, so red's a good place to start, but I don't know what red I want to do exactly. So we're going to start with pure red, and then we'll use a color adjustment in a little bit to kind of pick out the exact red we're looking for. This is a common technique used in like concept art and stuff, just because it lets you reconsider your choices easily without messing them up, without messing up your previous work. I'm already thinking we're probably going to want something in a darker red than this. This is just too bright, too vibrant. Most of the other VTubers out there use a little more muted coloring. This is almost like JoJo tier offensive to the eyes. Which kind of don't want to do. You know, I don't want to send people packing just because it's visually hard to look at. We'll clean that up. You know, the others did art streams early on, but I haven't seen them do art streams at all lately. Some of the more dedicated non-Hololive group VTubers do art streams quite regularly, but I haven't seen any of the others do them, and it's kind of disappointing. I really enjoyed watching those. Actually, no, someone did recently. Who was it? Someone was doing channel icons recently. I missed that stream. I was working at the time. I'll have to go back through the archive and take a look. So anyways, almost done with this. We'll be playing with the color in just a moment. Yeah. And then you can see I skipped the coloring, the Kanabo there. That's it's because we're going to pick out a different color later. So I feel like darker red is a good place to start. Just that by itself. The Giddy outline, the channel outline. We're going to colorize this. It wasn't originally, but you know, that hurts to look at. Let's get some saturation in there. Okay, we could go somewhere in here. This yellow. Too bright, too bright, too bright. Yeah, let's go kind of this orangey maybe. The orange. Yeah, we could go with something like that. Though in that case, we would want to cut the Kanabo out, so it is not part of it, because we do not want to change the Kanabo's outline. Then via cut. Also, I would like to take a moment to apologize. I know I've been talking a lot without addressing this yet, but my mic sucks. I don't have the money to get a new one, but I am looking into it. I will worry about that when I can sort that out. I'm gonna talk with some folks, figure out what kind of mics they recommend, that sort of thing, and we'll get a mic worth having eventually. A little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter, a little lighter. Okay. Let's see if we bring that letter color above and then clean it. And look, some of you guys might be like, why not just do X, Y, or Z? The answer is if there's a better technique out there, I probably simply just don't know it. I taught myself everything I know about art for the most part. I did spend some time. I have spent some time with teachers, but most of what they taught me was how to teach myself better. Like, I would say that I actually learned very little raw art techniques from them. So if there's, some software specific technique like vectorization or some shit, I don't know how to use vectorization. Someday I'll learn, but I don't know right now, so I'm not using it. I'd like to learn. I'd like to learn a whole lot of things. That looks pretty decent. We're going to come back here to the channel outline real quick. Grab a sample of that color. Now that it's not black anymore, it doesn't show up nice as clearly and crisply. So we're gonna crisp it. Just clean those up a little bit around the edge. Clean that. Not the most interesting, I know. This is honestly kind of boring content. I hate to say it, but hopefully my talking and rambling about why I've been doing things has helped make it a little more entertaining at least. Okay, that's good for that. We'll clean these up briefly. Honestly, I think I may do most of this cleanup off stream, so we're gonna just do a little bit more, kind of the bulk, and I'll do the super fine-tuning stuff off stream. The really uninteresting, boring stuff. Clean that. There. That way we can spend more of the actual proper stream time doing the fun stuff, which is designing the logo, designing the channel banner. So, yeah, forgive me if I leave some of these looking half-assed. Havast, matey. So, overall, I think that actually probably works. I think it's time to pick an actual background color, though. So, we're just gonna paint bucket this red. Make eyes bleed for a moment. Sorry about that. Alright, now we can start playing with some other colors. Yellow's looking good. Oh, we could go with some of the blues. I certainly wouldn't mind some blues. Match my hair a little bit. Maybe in here. That could be fun. I'm not sure that it's quite right, but it's a place to start. Go a bit. Yeah, let's go a bit brighter. I pop a little more. The lettering pops a little more. I could throw an outline on a better outline on the lettering later. So that's a place to start. We could bring the saturation up a little bit, maybe. Yeah, maybe a little brighter. More saturation. A little brighter. Like that. Kind of beautiful sky blue. That contrasts really painfully with the channel lettering, though. I'm not sure I'm sold. We can adjust it later. Give me a moment, though. Let's adjust this one. What if we made that white? White's actually pretty good. let's go with white for that. I think that would work. Blue background, white outline of the lettering, red letters themselves. So let's quickly, and I do mean quickly here, go through and bring the rest up to this point. Not that one, but that and that. We're just going to unlock both of those. Select both of them. Oop, can't do both. Just one at a time then. Pop lightness up. Pop lightness up. Okay. Letter color. And select. And we're just going to super quickly come in. I'll clean, like I said before, I will do the final pass cleanup later off stream. So you guys do not have to watch this more boring stuff. O, the N, I, G, I, because right now we are just kind of concepting the whole banner. And we're going to start thinking about what we want for the background. My initial thought was to go pretty simple because I don't really want to draw like the most complex background in the world. So what I think I'm going to try and do is do some sake gourds and some clubs floating around in the background, maybe some oni masks, just like a few easily recognized oni things floating around in the background to really make me feel oni when people look at it, you know, really evoke the oni. Maybe something tiger striped. Oni Giddy channel. And that actually pops out pretty well, all things considered. Looks clean, looks fun, looks charactery. Might honestly be a bit cartoony. A bit too cartoony. I don't know. Let me just do a quick select here, and we are going, actually not a select, let's not select it, just deselect. We are going to add a quick layer. It's going to, quick gradient layer. Yeah. Dark at the top, or do we want dark at the bottom? Let's do dark at the bottom. Alright. Now, pop that over, flip that to multiply, and clip it. It definitely makes the lettering darker. I do want to also duplicate it, throw the dupe down here. Rotate one, oh, Control T. Like that. Now it feels a hell of a lot less cartoony. It feels way less cartoony. It feels a bit more serious. I do like the a bit more serious feel. There we go. That's what we're going to do. The lettering be dark near the top. The background be light near the top. However, these are both a little bit too extreme, so let's drop our filters down to 50%. And this is where this non-destructive editing really comes in handy. Is I can do edits on that gradation all I want, and it's not going to change the underlying letters. I can do edits on the underlying letters all I want, and it's not going to change the gradation. They're both going to both properties will perpetually exist. So it's a really useful tool to do things that way. Use clipping masks more. They're great. Love them. Okay, so that more or less covers most of the lettering. The Canavo. Let's worry about our Canavo. So let's quickly lock the layers we got, because we're not working on them. Alright, layers locked. Let's add a color layer for the Canavo. Cool. Nah. Bull. Color. Alright. Switch to brush. Da, da. What color? That's probably gonna be a dim kind of really desaturated red. Dark desaturated red, as that's what iron looks like. Just because most iron has a very thin veneer of rust on the surface, so it just has the ever so slight hint of red in it. And obviously looking at this, that is immediately way too dark. So let's bump the brightness, drop the saturation pretty much to 0. We are on a blue background, so we actually have the advantage that being on a blue background, the club looks red even if it's pure gray. That's an interesting color theory bit right there. We're going to put that about there, I think. That should pop enough. See, watch, if I sample this and take a look, it's almost pure gray, but it still looks more red being there, because the background's red. The background's blue. And I want to grab a little bit of a very kind of pale, dirty yellow for the wrappings. Just quickly slip that in. There we go. Look at that. We got a little Canavo. So that pretty much sums it up for the lettering. Now let's do a bit more in the background area. Our folder's getting a little bloated here, so we're just going to select all that, throw it into a group, call this lettering, and add a new layer. And now, because it's all in a group, we can hide it. Much easier. So what are the things we want to put in? Well, we want to put in a club. Probably want it to be, let's make it a little more cartoony, kind of more of that traditional look. This one would be like round with some spikes, lumpy spikes on it or something. That should look good. We'll throw in a gourd. We can throw in like an old samurai oni style mask. How about? I think that ought to do. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that, shall we? All right. Name our layer and start sketching. So let's start with, we're starting with the gourd. Can do this mostly from memory. I've seen enough of them. We got the slightly smaller top, and let's put a little ribbon on it for show. We'll make that in red when we go and color it. The little rope ribbon on it. just because it's fun. And we're going to pattern the, once we've drawn all three of these shapes, we'll pattern them across the background, which will help it look a little more fun. That's that. Stylized Oni Club. Let's see if we can do this without accidentally drawing something unseemly. There we go. I'm going to put a few knobs on it. Like that. Does that look right? No. I think it's mostly the handle, though. Again, just like the other one. Actually, I can tell you exactly what it is. I failed to respect the rule of 3 on that club. So for those of you who don't know, the rule of 3 in art is a concept that if you have multiple things, multiple of the same thing appearing, you should do it in sets of 3. So, in this case, 1, 2, 3 spikes. We'll go 1, 2, 3 spikes. 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3 spikes. Now we have our stylized Oni Club. Good for bashing. Really good for bashing. Like that's honestly one of the only things it's good at is lots and lots and lots and lots of bashing. So we got that. Right. And then the mask. So let's see. Little Oni mask. We just gonna draw kind of the bottom of some glasses there. Bring that down, bring that down. Draw a quick chin. Get our spiked teeth going. Our tusks, as it were. Do a couple of sharp teeth here. Remember, these are going to be small and in the background, so we can't go wild with them. And put a couple ribbons to tie it on. Let's make that a little spikier, a little more bridge of a nose. There. And that should sum it up. That collection of 3 items can kind of we'll once we color them in, we'll scatter them about the background, and it should look pretty cool. Should look fun and lively. Great for gaming, as it were. Let's add a new layer. We'll lock our sketch layer. I'm just going to start over here with the mask. Throw down some white. No, we're not going to use white. We're going to use a yellow. An off-white, as it were. The background's dark enough that using pure white just looks too bright, so you can get away with using a yellow here. A little more tusk-colored. Get those teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mentioned the rule of 3 earlier on the club, but yeah, I obviously didn't do it there for the bottom teeth. This honestly could be a mistake, but I don't think it'll actually matter because they don't look bad as they are. we got that. Toss a quick underlayer in. And I want to do just almost black gray for the inside here. Like that. Perfect. And then we're going to grab a nice dark red, dark high saturation red. Toss that in. Actually, let's do this on its own layer, again, so we can edit the coloring and clean it up more easily. Because that coloring is not great. It's just what we grabbed at random. Actually, I want to do one more layer as well. I want to add some gold trim to this. As these masks frequently had just a little bit of gold to decorate them. There we go. Like that. There we go. Well, let's adjust our gold. Probably could saturate it. There we go. And the red. Let's adjust it. Let's start by saturating it some. Looks great. And now that we got the color done, let's, ooh, that's disgustingly bright. Let's do that. Perfect. Get a couple of red ties there, though this should have been on a higher layer. So we're going to actually just do them on top of the gold layer because we're finished adjusting it. I'm happy where it's at, even if it's not great. And now I merge all of the color, and I'll do a cleanup pass on it in a bit. Well, no, we'll do the cleanup pass now. Unlock the sketch real quick. Layer, via cut, merge down, and lock the sketch. So now we can be working on just the mask all by itself without messing up anyone else. Get this outline nice and thin. Just going to zoom in, zoom way in, make sure that we're doing the best job we can for kind of this cleanup stuff. You know, honestly, you probably could have used a nose. Let me think about that for a second. How would I want to stylize its nose? I want to style. Because obviously my nose, well, I'd love to make this based on my nose. It's, my nose is way too pretty to be scary and intimidating for one of these masks. Let's see. Well, if we just do that, does that actually probably is good enough. Keep in mind, these are going to be super small in the very background. So it really doesn't need a ton of detail for some of these pieces. Clean up these sharp, pointy teeth. You can see my teeth are a little sharp and pointy too. Ah, as all Oni teeth are. It's just the way it be. You know, man? I mean, honestly, Gura has way sharper teeth than me, though. We're more like, you know, just good at like biting. We're really good at just like chewing our meat foods. We don't bite arms off in combat and stuff like sharks do. Sharks are way better at chomping through stuff. And that's Oni. Look, Oni are awesome. That's all there is to it. Bring that in just a little bit more so the trim's closer. Had to scratch a little itch on my face. I feel like I should at least address it for a moment on stream. I tried to get my camera to see the arms, but I realized when I'm drawing, my arms are like completely outside the field that the camera can see. So trying to get that hooked up and not be drawing like a clown with his arms flying high in the air was, well, ultimately it wasn't worth it for drawing at least. I might look into doing like some kind of standing desk so the camera can actually see a little more of me next time. But, you know, for now, for early like this, I feel like this has been pretty successful. The technology is surprisingly easy to use. Drop that off, cut that off, cut that off, cut like that. Yeah, like that. Just like that. Perfect. And clean that up just a little bit, and that up just a little bit. Come back, grab a little bit of black so we can just very briefly pop some of these by upping their outline quality. And again, it doesn't have to be the most perfect. It's far in the background. Far in the background. And it's going to be on a tiny picture on a YouTube page. There. So there's our Oni mask. Honestly, not bad. Not bad at all. We're going to just relabel this mask. Because what it's going to look like, to give you an idea, is I'm going to have like, you know, 20 of each of these things, making patterns across. So I put it down like that, and then have like a little Knabo here, a little gourd here, another mask, Knabo, a gourd, and put them up like that. So it's going to be small. Not going to need the most detail ever. I'm going to lock the mask because I think it's largely done. And move on to the next one. Let's unlock that. Grab that. So Knabo. We're just gonna go gray, I think. Cause it's going to naturally get that rust color in all rust red, or that thin veneer of rust look to it. all on its own. Just a super quick sketch. New layer via cut. Hi. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oop. There we go. I was on the wrong layer. New layer via cut. There we go. Hide that. Well, we don't need to hide it, but we do want to lock it. And now we're going to just clean up the Canavo real quick. Make it roughly the same quality as the mask. So, I say Canavo a lot. And I'm pretty sure that's what most Oni use, but I've seen references to them using a lot of other things. I personally myself have a lot of choices in weaponry. I I keep myself a claymore around. Those things are pretty damn effective. Great for chopping down trees, as it turns out. Done a few, taking out a few trees that way. Not like just being mean about it. No, these trees were old, needed to go. They were dying. Got suffering from fire blight disease. Real nasty stuff. So you kind of had to kill them, cut them out, kill them, so they didn't kill the entire all the trees in the area. So what better way than to practice with the sword a little bit? A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm gonna draw in this here. Circle around. Now let's clean these spikes up just a little bit. We'll add a little bit of... We didn't do it for the mask at all, but we will add a little bit of highlighting to the club just because it's so simple in its color palette otherwise that I don't know if it will really register mentally as what it is if we don't. And that's a really important thing. Drawing, well, anything, is not so much about making sure the object looks picture perfect, but more about making sure that the object is simply instantly and immediately recognizable as its thing in a satisfying way. Like, the brain clearly tosses it into the right mental bucket right away. And when your brain struggles to do that, things don't look good to look at. Okay, so that's rough as hell around the edges. Let's clean that up just a tiny bit. Gotta get those nice and spiky. Nice and spiky. There we go. And like I said, we were going to come back in, do a little bit of highlighting across it. So let's highlight the spikes real quick so that they feel spiky. I'll feel spikier. And just a quick along the body highlight. Like that. Maybe one here too. There we go. We got our cartoony Uni club to float along in the background. And now for the sake gourd. I'm just going to lock that, and since we've been just converting the sketch into color mode with each step, we're just going to unlock the gourd layer and draw directly on it. No, honestly, I feel like I kind of want to, like in red letters, put the sake kanji on. So I think I'm going to do that. If you give me a moment, let me think. How does that thing look? It's like, the top of my head, it's something like that. It's similar to that. Sake. Oh, okay. Okay. The sake kanji is dot. Do, 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 do. There we go. Sake. Osake. So we're going to slap the sake kanji onto our gourd here in a moment. But let's make the rest of it look glorious. And since we're putting the rope here, we're just going to redraw that black so it gets that curve out. There we go. I'm going to come here and clean these up. Shoop, shoop, and shoop, and shoop, and shoop, shoop. Like, let's try that. There we go. Now, I'm going to grab that red. Gonna drop the size just a teeny tiny bit so we can more easily do this. There we go. Little red outline. Now we put the sake. Actually, let's do the same thing with the sake. Do that. Let's do the box first so we can measure that a little better. Is that a full? No. It's more like ichi. Best sake. Sake. And then we're going to paint it red again in a very similar manner. You know, actually, let's leave it black. I think it'll look fine black. Remember, small, so black's going to be a little bit easier to read in this case. Oop. All right, we got our random junk that's going to float around in the back. Let's merge these, merge layers. I'm going to call these background items. That is not how you spell ground, as it turns out. Background items. There we go. I'm going to arrange these really quick. So let's see here. We want the gourd. We're going to put the club here. We're going to shrink the club to match the gourd just a little bit, like that. Space it, like that. And we're going to do the same with the mask. So they all feel vaguely the same. Deselect that. Dupe the layer. Scale them down so they're nice and small. Hide the original layer. Dupe our copy. Oop. Dupe our copy. Slide it up like that. Merge the two. So now we got, you know, a thin set there. Let's offset each one just slightly. Okay. The whole group needs to be a slightly perfect. Now we can go grab that, dupe it, put it right there, dupe, put it like there-ish, and dupe, put it like there-ish. Let's keep duping. Get another one. Put it like there. Yeah, let's do that. Grab another one. Duping. So this, we're in a bit of a pickle here. Oh, wait, no, we're fine. We'll just do that. Do that. Throw that in. Dupe it again. We'll throw the sake bottle down in the very corner. And one more time with gusto for a mask right there. And now we have a background. Magical! Let's merge these together. Pop the lettering back on. The background items, let's make them subject to the let's make them subject to the shadow so they pop a little less. Also, I want to drop the opacity on the background items just a bit. So again, they don't pop nearly as much. Like, we want them to feel in the background. And that's looking pretty good. It's been about 2 hours a stream. We're pretty much done with all of our we're pretty much done with most of the important stuff here. So I think I'm going to call it here. It's been fun. I've been Aki Onigiri. This has been my show. Next time, where I'm going to start looking into doing a bit more smashing, a bit more gaming. It'll be great. You take care. I just did finger guns. I recognize you guys can't see that. That's unfortunate. Take care.